So this is the home page, and I'm looking at the accounting module. There's more to it than just accounting. It covers stock and inventory management, assets, manufacturing. HR is also part of it, customer relationship management, and other things. It's a whole ERP on its own. Okay, so let me just focus on the accounting for now. If I click on the accounting part, it just gives you an overview. So for somebody who is not an accountant, you can just go through the overview, and at least you know what to do, from creating your chart of accounts to setting up taxes to doing the account settings. The account settings um, is where the accountant will set up certain things so that if something is a debit or a credit, you just have to select it and the system will do the debit or credit for you. Then you have cost centers for budgeting analysis, and then you can create purchase invoices, sales invoices, and all that. And then you can look at your balance, opening balance, closing balance, and that, and then generate financial statements. So that's it. I'm going to start. Obviously, everything starts with a chart of accounts. So whenever we are looking for anything, we'll use this search bar. It's called the awesome bar. So I'll look for charts of accounts, and I can see the charts of accounts. So in this demo, I have my company registered as ICANN Institute, and we have different groups of accounts here. So you would put in your account. For instance, under equity, I have an account that I've created called capital stock, dividends paid, opening balance, equity, return, retained earnings, and stuff like that. So that's under equity. Under income, I can look at direct income or indirect income. You can actually add more because every company is different depending on the name of the account you are given to the specific account you want to track. So I can just click on new here, and I can add an account name, maybe a Standard Chartered Bank account. That's the name we want to call it in our business, Standard Chartered Bank account. But you will decide after naming it a standard, you give it the account number. Let me put in any number here. You will decide the account type. So under here, you want to know whether it's a bank account, it's a cash account, chargeable account, cost of goods sold, current assets, liability. So it's not only about the bank account, but each of these accounts, as you are the accountant, you will decide where to put it, whether it's direct income or whatever. So all these have been done already. Whatever you want to track, you can put it here. For instance, I can put that as an account type under taxes, so that anytime we are doing our taxes, we know that this is the account that we are using. And anytime we are generating reports, if we click on tax accounts, we'll see all the accounts that we created under taxes and what's going on over there. Okay, so you can see there's a receivable account, payable type. All these are types that you would select yourself. Okay, so and then you select the currency for the account you are going to deal with. So I can select Ghana cedi for that, and then let me choose an account type. Let me say receivable. Okay, so I'll take it as a receivable account, and then I've created that account. So now that I've created that account, I put it here because I had opened this side already and I created the Standard Chartered Bank account, and that's the account number and whatever. So I can move it to another group, whether I want to use it as a equity account or expenses account. So under expenses account, we have direct expenses, indirect. If I go down, there's stock expenses here, and then look at it, cost of goods sold, expenses, expenses included in asset valuation, expenses included. So as for the charts of accounts, I mean, if you are dealing as an accountant, you know what to do. You would, when we start, you can even have a blank slate where there's nothing here. You can organize the accounts the way you want it. So you've created your charts of accounts. I have a small what do you call it? I have a small uh, list of things I want to discuss. So I'll look at it. I've just discussed the chart of account, and then let me see. Okay, so let me come to my list here, which is on my So if you look at chart of accounts, you can do your opening balance as I've mentioned. And then most of us are interested in invoicing and billing. So you create an invoice or send it to a client. You can send reminders and track receipts that a client has paid for something that you, or a service or product that you gave to the client. And then you can also have recurring invoices. So you set it up in the system such that maybe every year there's a billing cycle. So when the time comes, the system will generate the invoice and then you can email it to the client. Then you have your accounts receivable, and then accounts payable will get there. Then credit notes and all that. Some of them I'm not that technical, so I do not know what you guys will use it for, but it's all in there. And this software is used all over the world by several accountants. It's just that it's open source. So for those of us who are software developers, we can go into the software and modify it to suit the client's needs. Okay, so let me see if I can look at how we are going to create some invoices for some clients, and then also if we get if we do a purchase invoice and we are paying for it, how we are going to pay so that we record the thing with a double entry accounting system, so that in that case, when we pay something, we credit an account, we debit an account, and then we are able to track everything. So let me go back to the software. So here, I'm just going to use the awesome bar here. I'm going to do maybe a sales invoice. Let's do a sales invoice for now. Sales invoice. So I'll go to my sales invoice list. So if there are any sales invoices, they will be here. So I'm going to add a sales invoice. Once I click on sales invoice, I have to select the customer. So obviously, if you don't have a customer in your system, it will not show. I don't think I have. Okay, I've created one customer already called Gaia Hospital. So I select Gaia Hospital as my customer for this sales invoice that I'll send to Gaia. There's a posting date. If you want to edit the posting date, you can click here and edit the posting date. Then the accounting dimensions, if you remember, you are talking here in ERPNext, in this software, the accounting dimensions refer to something like the departments or the cost centers in your company. So you can break down your company into different departments and track what is going on in each of the departments using the software. So you can look in here, they try to break it into two. Apart from the cost centers, they also have projects. So if you are doing a project, you can actually create that project, like create a project in the system and then use it to track everything that goes on in that project, so that by the end of the project, you can give a comprehensive report of that project, what accounts went and what monies went where and whatever happened. Or you can use your cost centers. So in this case, maybe I'm just using the main company itself. Then you select the currency, and then you are using your standard pricing. The item. So here, the item, if you are going to use the barcodes to scan for the items, you can just scan it here. Or I'm going to enter the item here. So I'm going to select, I'm giving a sales invoice to Gaia Hospital. So I'm going to select the items that I want to be on the sales invoice. Let's say cement. And because I've already put in this is the cement, I'll put in the quantity, maybe 2. Did I put in? Okay, let me just select blocks rather. I think when I created the item, I didn't put in the price for cement, but here I have a put in blocks. So I say quantity is 2. The rate is the price, and then the total amount is here. If I want to add another item, I just add the row here. And then, well, let's put in the cement. I only have 2 items here. So the cement here, unfortunately, I don't have a price. So maybe I'll have to enter it myself. So I'll say it's maybe 150. And the quantity maybe 3. So once I'm done with the quantity and everything, the total is calculated already for you here. So I'm done with my sales invoice. If I need to apply taxes to the sales invoice, the taxes are here. So we should have created our taxes already, maybe VAT or whatever. And then we just select it. It will, once we're creating the taxes, we might have added the percentages and everything. So the system will just pick up the percentage and calculate and add it to the invoice. If you have any shipping rules or anything, or here, this is where we add, they have what we call tax templates. So we create tax templates like VAT, e-levy, whatever, all those things. So you select the tax template that will be applied to this. Here, for instance, the name of the tax, as an example, is the Ghana tax. So we will just select that, and it applies 15% rate. That's the VAT to the net total. So that's being done already. So although our net total here is 850, 400 plus 450, 850, you can see that it has applied the VAT already. And then we can save. So by the time we save this, we have a full invoice for our client. So I'm saving. First, when you save, it saves as draft. So now you have a save. It says submit this document to confirm. So we have saved it as draft. If maybe somebody has to approve the sales invoice. Sorry, I hope my screen is big enough for you guys to see. Sorry, I forgot to zoom out again.
Sure. I'm
Okay.
full by in here.
Yeah, cool. Okay. So I'm just zooming out a little so that you can see it clearly. Okay, so now we can see that I've saved it as draft. So once I submit, it means I can't change anything on this sales invoice again. And that's the ID number for the sales invoice over here. So let me just submit it. And there's a, you can set up the system of what do you call it, approvals and all that. So somebody may have to approve it before you can send it out and all that. That's where the customizations come in, because different companies may have different ways. Maybe their system, 2 people have to approve all that. So now I've created my sales invoice and then I've submitted it. You can see it remains unpaid. So let's say I have this sales invoice. I can print it out for them. I can send it by email. You get me? So you just click on new email, you enter the email, and then you send. Or you can decide to print it out. If I click on print here, that's our sales invoice that's being generated. It will come out right now, and then that's the printout. With the printout too, you can add your company logo and all that to the printout as well. So the software is already built. I'm marketing it, and because I'm also a software developer, we can customize it to suit the workflow in your organization. That's it. So you can print it out if you want to. I've just done an example of the print. So let's say we've sent this sales invoice out. Now, later on, this guy has paid us. We've supplied whatever we want to do. They've paid. So I can come back to the software and then come to payments. We have payment entry. That's my payment entry here. So once I come to payment entry, I'm going to add a payment, which means that either somebody has paid me or I have paid somebody. So that's a payment entry. So in this case, this is a payment entry. And because the software is supposed to help you, not everybody is an accountant. I don't know about debit and credit and all that. But behind the scenes, the system will do that kind of double entry accounting for me. So my job is just to select whether I am receiving the money or paying out the money, or it's an internal company transfer, maybe from one department to another. The money is being transferred. So here I'm receiving the money because I sent out a sales invoice. So I'm just going to save it, select receive. Then I come to the type of payment, whether it's bank draft, whatever. Let's say I say cash. They paid by cash. So here it's a customer that paid. I want to find which customer it is. So I say from my list of customers here is Gaik Hospital, of course. Once I select Gaik Hospital, the amount, well, let me see. I have to enter the amount that they paid for. So that's the amount here. Let's say they've paid, it was about, I've forgotten the amount, but let me put 1,000 here. We'll see what happens. The tax charges and everything. And then advance charges, and then I think I'm able to select, is it my page that's too big, or I'm supposed to be able to select the sales invoice for which they have paid right now, so that it will clear as well. You can see it says the references are here. I had to scroll down a bit to get this. So now that I've entered them, it says get outstanding invoices. So I'm going to get the invoice that I just created for Gaia. So get outstanding invoices. You select the dates, the due dates, and whatever. Let me see if I can see any else. So this is the sales invoice we created. You see that it has gotten the sales invoice for the GAEC one. So I can click on it and see the details of it. Anyway, let me just open it in another tab so that you see that it's actually the sales invoice that we created for GAEC. So whilst I'm doing the payment entry, I want to mark it as this is referencing this particular sales invoice before I save. Once I save and I've made the payment entry, the system will do the debit and crediting of the appropriate accounts. Since remember, we've set that up already when we started. Before we start using the software, we should have set up our main accounts and everything. So now we have this invoice. That's the invoice here. That's the amount, everything. Total allocated, whatever, unallocated, and everything. So here, even with this, I know the amount was 978. So let me adjust this before I save. So it was exactly 978 that they are paying. Now I can save. So it says once you save, it will not save immediately. It will ask you to confirm. So you check everything, whichever party bank account. We've selected our party already. Then this is so you can see the account paid from. We have debtors account, whatever, everything is here. You are the accountant, so you know more. If there were any other charges you wanted to add, you can do that. The transaction ID, if they paid with check, obviously you enter that one here for your accounting stuff, all the accounting stuff. Then I'm submitting now. So it says permanently yes. So now it's submitted. And because we paid against this particular invoice, you find out that when we go back to the sales invoices, it should show us paid sales invoice list. You see, now the GAEC invoice that it shows as what paid. Earlier on, it wasn't paid. So anytime we receive an amount, we can pay it with our entry, payment entry, pay it and select the exact invoice that we are paying against to clear that invoice. And then the same way, if this one we received, the other way is if we are paying out. So if somebody sends us their sales invoice, or we what if we are paying out, then we'll pay against the purchase invoice because we are purchasing this time. So that's the thing. So that's one aspect of the software. I hope I've been able to at least explain something. Since you are accountants, you understand more than myself. So that's it. So the same way I created the sales invoice, we can actually create a recurrent invoice, where a recurring invoice, which you will set it up such that maybe every year you just set up the cycle so that every time it just generates the invoice, and then it will remind you. There's a notification in the system as well that this is time to forward this invoice to this client or whatever. Okay, I think we treated a little bit about taxes. So we will have to, in the software, we will have to take our time and enter all the taxes that are applied when we are selling something, or when when we are also purchasing something from somebody, so that when we are creating our invoices, we just select the appropriate tax that applies. Once we've entered all the taxes, we in the system they call them tax templates. So once we've done that, it just flows like that. And the journal entry, most of the time, the journal entries are done by the real accountants. Let me go back to the software. So most of the time, the journal entries are done by the real accountants. In fact, when we did the payment entry, it's a type of journal entry, but that one is dealing with cash, or monies paid, or monies paid in and out, or stuff like that. There are other journal entries that accountants do, not necessarily for payment alone. So for most small businesses that don't have accountants, most people will not be at this journal entry side. They will just be doing payment entries, and then whether they are receiving money or paying somebody money, whether there's a sales invoice or a purchase invoice, and they are clearing it and all that. So all that stays in your system. But for accountants who have to do more than just that, they have their journal entries, where here they are doing the real thing. So they select an account, let's say it's office equipment. They select the party they are dealing with, the party type. I don't have anything here. I haven't set up that. They select the party they are dealing with, and then they will decide whether it's a debit or credit. And then after that, because it's a double entry, they have to do the maybe select here, and then this one becomes credited to this account and debited. So it must balance. The system will check if you are crediting one account and debiting one account, the two must be equal before you can save. So that's your journal entry here, and then you can add remarks and all that. And then you can reference documents. So sometimes if you want to reference something, the bill number, the bill date, due date, whatever, your print settings to print the documents out and stuff like that. And I think there's even more information under here. Mode of payment is opening. They have other things they do here, but this the typical accountants will be doing the journal entry themselves. Because me, sometimes I get confused whether something is a debit or a credit. So I wouldn't come here at all. I'll just go and do my receiving or paying. Let the system decide which one is a debit, which one is a credit for me. If I'm receiving, I'm just receiving. Let me just receive. If I'm paying, I'm just paying out. Let me pay. Okay, so we've looked at journal entries a bit here. I think based on my list, accounts payable, accounts receivable. Obviously, when you are setting up your accounts, you will do all these things here. And then the reports, the financial reports, obviously the system will generate the
Hello,
profit and
doctor.
loss statement. Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes,
Sorry.
a quick question.
Yes, please.
Quick one. Good. So, concerning the general journal, the journal,
Mm-hmm.
I
Yeah,
realized when you come to the accounting entries,
yeah.
for instance, I use QuickBooks, and for
Mm-hmm.
QuickBooks, it gives you account as you have for the second or third row,
Yeah.
and then you are being given your debit or credit. So you will decide
Uh-huh.
whether the amount you are posting, or the entry or the transaction you are posting, is
Uh-huh.
it debit or credit, and then you are
Yeah.
also giving memo or description of the transaction you are entering.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
but it seems this one I haven't seen anything of that sort.
Oh, I think it's down there. They have their remarks.
Oh, okay, so that's the user remarks.
Uh-huh. They have
All
the
right.
remarks for you to put in everything else you want to do. They
All
have
right.
the remarks here.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. Yes, please. Then what else is there to do, Crown? Okay. I was going to talk about reports. I think I'll just make it quick here. So the reports, you actually get a dashboard. Let's say reports list. Let me see what's here. Okay, so you get a dashboard to look at all your reports, gross profits, reports, um, so many other reports that you are tracking yourself. Um, I am not an accountant, so I can't really tell what kind of reports you are very much interested in. Let me see if I can see any profits. I can see that one here.
Yeah, so you can
So,
search for financial reports.
pardon me,
Pro- You can search for financial reports,
financial reports. Let me see if I can see something like that here.
profit and
Uh,
loss, trial balance.
yeah, I think there's also trial balance and all those things here. I need to maybe let me zoom out and see because I've zoomed it in. It's a web page, so it has taken some things out.
Okay.
Let me see, control minus. Mhm. Okay, so if I come to the home page there, this one, let me see what I'll see here. If I come here under accounting, now if you scroll here, you have all your shortcuts. Let me zoom out again so that you can see it better. So I'm scrolling down here. They have all the shortcuts. Under shortcuts, we have the chart of account. So any of them you want to go directly to, you can use these shortcuts. The sales invoice, payment, the trial balance you mentioned. So I
Okay.
can just click on trial balance and go there. I want to. Okay, so let's just have a look at it and come back. Have I clicked that one? I think my computer is running a bit slow. So this is the trial balance. Seriously, I have no idea what's going on here. Uh, you are the accountant. You would maybe you would have an idea of what is going on here. Um, I don't know, but this is your trial balance. What they have here, so you can actually search by a particular date or search by a company or maybe if you are doing multi-currency, you want to see those ones that are in um, pounds and those ones that are in euros and whatever. And then based on the cost centers, I don't have any cost centers, so that's why it's giving. Or if there's a project you did, you can select by that project. So you have all this. If I filter right now, for instance, when I filtered by euro, you can see my list is here in Europe. So these are the ones I have in Europe. But if I filtered by Ghana cities, there's it's showing something in Ghana cities now and all that. So you as for this one, I'll maybe later on when I install for you to have a look at it, you can look at the trial balance.
Sure.
Or I'll have
Sure.
to go and read about it and see. Then um obviously the companies, everything is here. The fiscal year, you decide which fiscal year you are running currently and all that. And then the journal entries and everything is here. And then the tax rules, the item tax templates and everything are here. Withholding taxes and other things are here also. So you set up all those things so that when you are entering anything, you just select and go away. It's able to reconcile with the banks. If your system is online and you connect it to your bank account, it will reconcile your information. I think QuickBooks also does the same thing.
Sure.
What else? What else is here? Then so I think under reports, these are the common reports that we are seeing here. So you can look at reports under payment entries, reports under your journal entry. I don't know whether, let me see if there's any report here. Okay, so these are just for the journal entries. So you can select maybe based on the client, on the customer. If you have different customers, you know which one to select. You can filter to see which ones are there and stuff like that. But it's quite a comprehensive accounting software, and it's not just accounting software. It's actually a whole ERP with the accounting embedded. So what I mean by an ERP is, let me zoom out again, is that apart from accounting module, you have your buying and selling module. Actually, it even has a point of sale service embedded in it. So once you are doing sales and stuff, it's actually doing your invoice, your accounting, whether it's you are being paid or it's you are refunding monies and stuff like that. And then it's also doing the stock management for you as well. And then you can also track assets. And then for manufacturing companies, there's a whole module for manufacturing and stuff like that, quality control, and that we've mentioned something about projects already. This one is for customer support. If your company has a customer support system, you can use that part for it. And then this is the customer relationship management. So all your customers, their phone contacts and everything in the system, you can use it for that. So it's a whole thing. And there are other modules I haven't installed, like the human resource management module, which is there as well, and a few others as well. So this is just a quick overview of the software I just wanted to share with you. I hope I've done quite a good job in giving the overview of the software. Maybe I think this is my first attempt anyway, but I think with time it will get better, and I'll be using more of the accounting terms anyway. Okay. So, are there any questions or anything like that?
Yeah, look,
Yeah.
uh, congratulations. I'm
Ah,
really
thank you.
impressed. I'm really impressed. Doctor
Mhm.
pulling the accounting terms and the terminologies. I think I'm